And here we are, live, coming to you. Boba, Hoff, and Vase, Fett. We didn't discuss that beforehand. I just made up the title. Are you? How do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it. Boba Hoff, it kind of makes sense there, I guess, because he has the last two letters, like Fett and FF, and I don't know. Boba Vase Fett Hoff Boba Hoff Fett. Yeah, that doesn't sound as good. So yeah, good job. That was go through all the options first.
And he did, and that tells you right there, I didn't give him any options. I named this stream without consulting my partner and good friend, Hoff. Hoffcast. Give it up for Hoffcast.
What's up, man?
I just heard a rousing amount of applause on my end.
Same here. I think this is the first time that you've had me on your stream. Is that correct?
Could be, which I apologize for.
No, it's okay, man. I was just thinking it feels kind of weird in here, like I'm not used to the room. But
that's because
I'm used to being on the left side of the screen, not the right side. So,
and to be fair, I don't normally stream on my channel. When it's a random thing, just like tonight. Absolutely random. People weren't expecting it. I haven't posted anything about it on Twitter. I don't know if you have. If you want to, we can. I don't know what we would say. Hey, come by.
I'll retweet you.
We're back again.
Yes, we're back.
Boba, Hoff, and Vase, Fett in Bounty. What?
Huh?
That was what I decided to call it because I've been rereading the Bounty Hunter Wars. You know what that is?
I think you were talking about it on Ryan's stream.
Yes.
RK Outpost.
Yes. I brought it up.
No force powers or anything like that. It's just war between bounty hunters, basically.
And you know what? I was actually wrong. I mean, I guess when I originally brought it up, I was right to say that because amidst everything in the EU, most things are basically like a lot of things are like Jedi fighting and crazy new force powers and all kinds of stuff. That's what I liked about the Bounty Hunter Wars is it's not mainly that stuff. There are some points though where force powers are used, but it's really only in times when Prince Xizor is in direct conversation with the Emperor and Vader, and they're having a three-way conversation, and Vader just starts using his force powers on Xizor from like really far away, and it's really cool, but not like straight up like lightsaber combat. Everything else is straight up bounty hunter stuff. I think it's neat.
Let me ask you this: do you think that Anakin was able to use the Force during sex?
That's a good question. I think a lot of people have been asking that question. And I don't claim to be the expert. All right.
I think so. I think there'd be kind of like a Force Viagra or something. You know what I mean?
I was going to say I don't claim to be the expert, but going on from there, I was going to say, yes, he force choked people all the time. I mean, I've had sex with women that wanted me to regular choke them. I'm sure if I could do it without my hands, they'd be excited me to use my hands for other things.
What about a forced hair pull or something like that, you know?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Hey, the thing is, if I had those abilities, who knows where things could go.
Exactly. The old force finger. I'm sorry.
And actually, I mean, even just regularly, who knows where things could go. You don't even need the force for that. You just really need to be honest with your partner. Furthermore,
that's the true force.
Is it not then? Whoever, if good, I want to say greetings to the chat, 19K Fox and Biden Touch. Thank you for joining us. I've never seen a Biden join us personally, but I'm willing to.
What are you talking about? The Bidens are always they
no. I meant like joining us in the panel because I'm willing to open it up to.
I don't even know who the Biden. I've never seen the Biden on a stream. I'd like.
That's what I was going to say. Like I've never.
Let's see who the Biden really is.
I respect their ability or whatever. You know, anyone's. You don't have to.
I'm not scared of Biden because I'm a grown ass man. I'm not a little girl.
Well, I'm not scared of them. I'm just not like you don't have to come. I'm just saying if you want to join us, you're welcome to. Same with 19 Fox. Fox. I usually just call you Fox. In my head, I call you Foxy, but
Foxy lady.
This is essentially another Shade stream, but just on My Chanel, which I regret saying. Yeah, immediately.
I like you hosting, man. I like you hosting. This is fun to hear you. Like, I'm enjoying this. Keep going.
Well, I mean, it's because I don't have a direct path upon which that we're following. I'm just talking to you, seeing what's going on with the chat, seeing where we don't have a direct. Although I did say we could talk about several things, but I want to keep it incredibly vague because that's part of my mystery.
I'll be very specific.
Me touchy, me touchy. Sorry, that's Biden touch.
You ain't gonna touchy Mimi.
Mimi touchy Mimi. I remember why I named this about Boba, Hoff, and Vase Fett. It's because I was reading the Bounty Hunter trilogy, and it's really good stuff. And Boba Fett. Actually, this is my favorite part. Here, no, this is my
Boba Fett.
Other people. Boba Fett.
Sorry.
That's actually one of my. Thank you for saying that. That's one of my favorite parts about Return of the Jedi, and you know that about me. Boba Fett. He freaks out. He hears the name Boba Fett and he freaks out. And then he gets lucky and knocks Boba Fett into the Sarlacc pit. The Bounty Hunter Wars are partially about Boba Fett's escape from the Sarlacc pit and what he did afterwards, which actually helped the rebels in. But that's not entirely important. What's most important is Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Oh, was that your best Wookiee?
Yeah, that's actually probably my best.
That was
Point at the deck.
That was your best Wookiee?
Yeah, I know you can do much better. You can do very good ones.
How
you do all kinds of impressions. I know you can. What I do it.
Well, actually, I want to ask you this: what do you think is better, or like what? Hold on, because there's this kind of Wookiee. There's like. There's also like.
No, not the second one. Definitely
the second one was worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got that in it. You got that roll. You know, the second one didn't have that at all. It just sounded like a Wookiee. Yeah. But that just sounds like a Wookiee purring. Like it has to be up.
The thing is, the guy that he had a combination of both.
No, they also used sounds from like apes.
Oh yeah, other different beasts. Yes. I'm not gonna say it's just one guy doing it. I'm just saying, like when trying to do the impression of it, that's the one that I have the hardest time with because there's, like you said, multiple.
You're only one man.
How often I have to tell people that? If I had a nickel, I'd have. I don't know, a couple nickels. I have a really bad memory too. Like I'm pretty sure we're talking about Boba Fett. And his jetpacking abilities. I don't know why people keep acting like he's this great guy. He had a jetpack. So did the Rocketeer.
I love Lando's yell when he's like hanging in the Sarlacc pit. He's like, ah!
I thought you were blind. I can see a lot better now.
He does a great yell when he's like sliding down the sand. He's like, ah!
I think that's, really one of the greatest things about Star Wars is like the yells. They have some really good yells. Like even when Boba Fett's going,
Is that where the Wilhelm scream was originated?
There's a couple different times. Oh yeah. It's definitely used. I'm not sure that's where it originated. Yes. Certainly and they have other screens. I mean, they have tons of ridiculous screens. I mean, like half the people that fell into the Sarlacc pit, especially if we're talking about once George Lucas went back and started adding stuff to them.
I'm really, you know what? Of all the things, I'm really glad he made the Ewoks blink, dude. That was the best change he ever made.
Well, I was thinking to myself, if there's one flaw in all of Star Wars, it's not the Ewoks' existence. It's the fact that they wouldn't blink at me.
It makes him less creepy, though. It does. It's like, seriously, it does.
It is a good improvement. I think there are some good things he improved, and there are other things where I see that I'm look at that's nope. Should have let it lie, Lucas. Should have let it lie. That's why I
my
really
favorite
hate when,
edit. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say I hate when like the new stuff comes out and people are like, "You're just mad because Lucas didn't do it," and I was like, "No, if you know anything about Star Wars, people have been mad that Lucas has been doing it since the beginning of time. Literally, since before the first movie came out, people are like, Lucas, that's not how you do it. So." Don't just try and blame it all on the fact that Lucas isn't there. It's more than that.
My favorite special edition edit is hands down the fact that whenever he recorded Han Solo walking around Jabba the Hutt, he didn't take into account his tail. You know what I'm talking about? He goes up.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. I thought that was great.
Well, I mean, also, it was hilarious. I thought it added to the movie though. I didn't mind it. It's so outrageous and it looks so bad, but to me, I laugh my ass off every time I see it.
Yeah, but so did a lot of stuff. That was one of the things that I would say fits into the movie because it stays true to the spirit of kind of like what Star Wars is about. You know, like that edit talks about their relationship, Han Solo and Jabba. Like he's willing to step on Jabba's tail. He doesn't, you know, like that says something about their relationship.
By the way, man, Ewoks are not an excuse for Porgs. In my opinion.
Oh, I totally agree. Because you didn't see any Ewoks get on any of the major actual battleships and start fucking with their circuitry, and then that being like just a joke. Hey, they're literally eating your circuitry and messing with the stuff inside your ship that could possibly make your ship malfunction, but it doesn't matter because we're just using it for our comic relief. Because, hey,
can I tell
you have a secret?
Yeah, can I tell it just between me and you here?
As long as it's just between you and me, fine, I accept it.
Sure. I'm thinking about doing a mockumentary on like Rian Johnson soon. I was already looking up stuff about him today. Did you know he only had 4 movies before The Last Jedi, and none of them were that big besides like Looper?
Yep. And that Ridley Scott literally called him out on being a horrible choice before his movie ever came out.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man.
And tons of people have said, what? And tons of professionals have said, what? And I went to Cannes and met a bunch of movie professionals, people who are from every spectrum of the business, whether they're big, small, whatever. You have millions of dollars to work with? That's great. Oh, you have almost universally, they panned the new Star Wars story. Because there was no plan, or if there was, it got thrown out the window by the second guy, and now they have to make up for it, and that's obvious to anyone in the film industry.
No, they had no plan whatsoever because look at all the director changes they had. They went from J.J. Abrams possibly directing all 3 to then Rian Johnson directing the second one, who has no experience, to Colin Trevorrow directing the third one, to him not directing.
I'll agree with you 100%.
Including the solo stuff that happened and the Rogue One directing.
Then who's they?
It's all been
who's
a big
they?
mess.
Who's they, though?
Kathleen Kennedy?
Kathleen Kennedy.
And Bob Iger's and J.J. Abrams. I think he has a big...
Can I tell you what I think about that? I think it's fully Kathleen Kennedy. And she's now kind of out on this dangling rope. If you remember, there was a lot of talk about her contract being off, and they're like, are they going to renew it? And I was one of the few people among the fandom minutes that was like, probably, yeah. And people were like, what the hell? She screwed up so much. They're going to fire her. And I was like, no. She was hired for 3 years. They're going to hire her back for 3 years. And by the end of that 3 years, you'll be able to see the scope of her failure. And they might try to cover up with it by giving her awards and stuff. But hiring her on for another 3 years is a tactic to keep their stockholders invested. Like, if you fire her in the middle of the sequel trilogy, what does that say about your confidence in the sequel trilogy? Of course you're not going to fire her then. But it's also obvious she's the one that's been screwing up. She's the one that's been hiring and firing directors. She's the one that's been saying, we want women directors, and then never hired a single one. She's the one that's fired a million male white directors and then hired male white directors after saying we want women and people of color directors. She's the one that's going to give Rian Johnson a trilogy by himself as a white male when all she's about. And this is her words. I don't care. If you want to do it, do it. But you're not doing it.
Rian Johnson
and they both
trilogy,
say it's not happening. That's going to be one of my next episodes of Read Between the Lines. It's not happening. It's not happening. And that was the next thing I was going to bring up. Bob Iger. You said, wasn't it up to Bob Iger? Bob Iger started to take responsibility after Solo. And his future, the only thing that he said in his statement, which was part of why I started Read Between the Lines, because people were like, Rian Johnson says he's working on his new trilogy. And I was like, Rian Johnson is the only one who has talked about his new trilogy since it was announced. Yep. He's the only one. Bob Iger, when talking about the future of Star Wars, said, hey, we've got a lot of different things we're looking forward to. We're taking a break, but we've also just hired, and at this time, that was a good thing. Now it's not as much so. But he said, hey, we hired the writers from Game of Thrones, because that was before like the last season's Game of Thrones. And he talked about that, and he's like, oh, we've got other stuff we're looking forward to, but he never said a single thing about Rian Johnson.
Speaking of that, I was watching It's Always Sunny pretty much all day today.
Awesome.
And I'm pretty sure David Benioff was in an episode.
I think he might have been, yeah. And I'm not saying that they're like terrible people. I'm just not also just like...
Yeah. Well, I don't know shit about... can I use language on your show? I'm sorry.
I guess.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't care.
My bad. I don't know crap about Game of Thrones, but yeah, like I don't know about like I want people to make Star Wars who want to make Star Wars and not just, you know what I mean? Like someone.
And that's one of the yeah.
And I mean, granted, J.J. Abrams isn't perfect, but I feel like he wanted to do it.
Exactly.
At first,
I would agree with that. Well, and he wrote out, that's one of the things. He wrote out a treatment and scripts and stuff for the next couple of He had plans made. And then they got literally Daisy Ridley has been in an interview saying this. I made one of my recent videos about JJ talking about him taking up episode 9 again. He's saying he's talking about going to this. He's saying there's no plan. There's no actors. There's no scripts. There's no nothing. I have quotes from him in the last video I made, like one of the last videos I made on Read Between the Lines, where he just lays out there was nothing set up for this. If there was nothing set up for the movie he's making as the last part of a trilogy, as the last part of the trilogy of trilogies, if he's coming to us and saying there was nothing planned out, that tells us they didn't follow his plan. Rian Johnson was not like working with him on anything. He's now trying to pick up the pieces and also trying to make it fit together with the overarching story of things that actually were made to fit together. And it's all just a guilty ploy to make us go see the movie. You have to go see the movie. It's the end of the...
Nice. Can I give you Hoff's predictions here on episode 9,
Sure.
The Rise of Skywalker? My predictions are, you know, there's a lot of rumors going around, a lot of theories, a lot of crazy ideas. And let me tell you this, just like the previous 2 movies, all of those, I guarantee you, are more interesting than what we'll get in this movie. Everything that we're seeing, all the theories, they're going to be way more far-fetched. They're going to play it safe as always, and it's going to be just a cluster of who knows what. People who are hoping that it's going to focus more on the originals and the prequels and call back to those, you're going to be really disappointed because it's more about the new characters. And it's just going to be really flat. It's going to be really stale and just very, I mean, I think plain, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Plain white bread. I don't think any of the theories will actually come to fruition.
Well, here's the thing. Why are people still making theories is what I don't get. When you had the last director just be like, all he did was, and this tells you something. Rian Johnson self-admits that he like went out of his way to look up fan theories and go against them. This guy was trying to do something. And I didn't see it. Hey, I wasn't looking at it that way at the time. I didn't realize exactly just how far out this guy was trying to go until I actually saw it. But again, That's not necessarily his mistake. He said he wanted to do that going in. Kathleen Kennedy said multiple times, there are tons of white men coming to me trying to make these movies, and we're just going to hire the people who are right for it. And then she hired Rian Johnson to make the movie. So he's a white man. If he wasn't hired because... it's because he's going to be doing stuff that, fits in with your kind of agenda of what you want to be happening. Okay, but here's the problem with that. Just because it fits in with what your agenda is, doesn't mean it's right for the middle of a 3-part series. Or the 3-part series at the end of a bigger 3-part series that each contains a 3-part series. And this is the end of it, and you're trying to tie it all together, and then you're going to throw in at the last literal moment just a whole big old, yeah, do whatever you want. Hey, do whatever you want. And then they're going to try and tell us that this last movie ties together everything. Even though the movie before that they said, hey, do whatever you want. Yeah, do whatever you want. Who cares?
It's not possible to tie in anything.
It's stupid, and it doesn't make any sense, and it shows the person in charge of the whole thing, which is Kathleen Kennedy's a freaking moron, and every time she opens her mouth, even since she made these mistakes, she has just further proven that she's a freaking idiot.
I wanted to say a proper Jeremy thank you. It is a nice shower curtain. Not
thank
necessarily
you.
A bathroom curtain. My bathroom does not have any windows, but it is a shower curtain that goes in the bathroom, and it is nice. And guess what? The Kraken's back in action, Jackson, so don't say much about it, okay?
If you got a problem with this Kraken, you can just take it back and take it to wherever you go, where I shoot you in the face.
I don't know.
When you can't rhyme, you just have to end up killing someone.
Oh, is that why so many rappers do that?
No.
Well,
most of them end up rapping. Some of them end up.
Well, I thought you said when they couldn't come up with rhymes, you kill people. I thought
yes, exactly.
The rap community.
No. Look, I'm
sure.
Yep.
Because you made sense for a minute.
That's actually very out of character for me.
Yes, it is. It's Butterfingers in the chat. What's up, Butterfingers?
They say, oh, hello, Butterfingers. Nice bathroom curtains. Thank you, Robert Jeremy. We do appreciate that. We actually have back-to-back bathrooms, and we don't like to be interrupted when we shower.
If you notice, our red light is in the same area because we're in the same room. So
yeah, it's really just...
It's right behind us here.
We just don't want to melt anyone's minds. I've seen too many articles of that happen to Kevin Smith. I'm just worried about having to regular people, too.
Also, he just sits on a beanbag chair. That's why he's so much lower than me.
It's very bagging, this being. I call it Gollum.
Call it Gollum?
No.
All right.
I've got no reason for that. Oh my god. What do you think about new Joker movie?
I'm not like super excited like a lot of people are to see it, but I am interested and I'm planning to see it. It looks good, but I'm not like all like it looks so awesome. I noticed every trailer he gets like punched in the face about 5 times, so I'm not sure. I'm guessing he's just sick of getting punched in the face, you know? Like that hasn't happened to me in my life. And this has happened like 3 times to one guy in one trailer. So
yeah, that's why they say it's gonna radicalize
I'm ready to be radicalized.
White people into
I'm
like,
ready.
This is gonna be the thing. This movie, we have to get
I've been on the edge for a while now. Let's do it, you know? Come on. I need this movie to just push
If The Last Jedi didn't make me go and murder people in the streets, I can't imagine a movie that will. Okay, movies are not
Yeah,
what
that's
make
true.
people go and kill people. Just if you raise, oh my gosh.
I was waiting to hear the big answer to it all there, Vase.
Oh well. No, I'm not gonna. You really think every?
Here you go. You're going on a dark path either way you go.
Thanks.
Just letting you know that up
Let
front.
me answer why there are no. I don't want to think about any of that. I have to change my background. I got the Joker being menacing, and you have the Kraken. Maybe I'll put in my Darth Vader. That'll put my mind at ease. So I think Yoda would be really
the Kraken
better.
intimidating you?
Are you actually always been fun. I actually like the thought of dark arms wrapping around you and then just taking you down.
I think it looks like a throne behind me. Like that's the back of my chair, even though it isn't. I feel like it's kind of what it looks like, but maybe to most people it doesn't. To me, it does. So I like that. Like my throne.
That's why you should go like this and just be like, "Ooh, they're my tentacles." Or you shouldn't. Maybe you don't. But I like to do things like that.
I am the Kraken.
Where I'm like pointing.
I like to do that.
I'm like, ooh, look, it's me. If I point in the right direction, it's all right.
You know, it's dead air when all you can hear is the creaking of Vase's chair.
I actually used to have, I used to practice my stand-up comedy jokes to the outside world. And by that, I mean just like nothing, just to dead air, just to outside. I wasn't like on air when I practiced.
I practiced mine to a booing track just in case.
Yeah, I just went outside and I had this one joke that I was really laughing hard at myself. Like I told it and I started really cracking up at it. And I was like, that's going to be gold. And then after I was laughing at it myself, not before, but only after, this cricket started chirping really loud. That was the only thing I could hear. And I was like,
the crickets liked it.
No. He started. I said, I'm going to call you Jiminy Critic. Because, like, if you tell a joke and then you hear like a cricket sound, that usually means like you suck. You know what I mean? So I was like telling these jokes for myself, and then this cricket started chirping. I was like, son of a bitch. Call you Jiminy Critic. And I thought that was funny because.
And that's why you should be a comedian.
Jiminy Cricket. No, I mean, a lot of people keep telling me I should still go back to being a comedian, but every time I talk about the stuff that I did while I was a comedian, people tell me or like throw shade at me. So I don't know if I ever feel like going back to it. I get enough criticism just being my goddamn self, trying my best. So
I don't get that much criticism. I feel like I'm way worse of a human being than you are.
I mean, probably, but I don't know what it is. I'm just kidding. No, I'm mostly just talking about in school, and I think it's because a lot of people don't realize my age, especially my teachers. I think a lot of my teachers think I'm like 20 years old, like all their students or whatever, and I'm just like, if I'm not there, then I'm just screwing around.
Well, like, that's me at work. Don't mean to interrupt, but that's me at work too. A lot of people just recently at work found out that I'm a lot older than I look, and they've been calling me old man because I'm older than pretty much all of them. But yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry, I'm just saying I can relate.
Yeah, I'm just ready to. I've been thinking about the last interaction I had with my teachers, and all I did was just rail on me on how he assumed that I just. Now that I didn't think on it in the moment because it was in front of the entire class, and I was like, "What the hell?" No, but he was just like, "Hey, look, just like you pulled a camera out of your mom's closet and did this, that, and the other thing." Da da da. And I was like, first of all, last week you said
pulled out your mom's closet.
He said for this project, it's not. I'm sure you've heard the saying, "If it's worth doing, it's worth doing."
Right.
He literally took half of a class to tell us, no, if it's worth doing shitty. And then when I turned in my project last week, all he could do was tell me how shitty it was. And at first I was like, oh, is this like ironic because what you said last week? No, he was actually absolutely serious. He tried to rip me apart because of different stuff about that. I actually had to stop him in the middle of his diatribe and be like, hey, I fucking get it. You don't like the way that I shot this. I fucking note taken. Can you move on? And then he had to move on to the rest of the class. And I'm still convinced that he just thinks I'm like a 20-year-old blow off of his class, when at the same time he's teaching people who aren't just directors of photography and camera assistants. He's teaching writers like me, editors like me, directors, people that don't necessarily.
Well, is he a good teacher?
No, he's fucking insane.
Then don't worry about it. Just get through it. Don't worry about his opinion. And his opinion isn't the end all be all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. But you know what? It's also a different, like, I don't like being railed on for 20 minutes in front of the entire class when all I did was follow his instructions. His instructions for the project was scratch your itch, find something that really you want to do. And actually, he didn't even just leave that up to us. He made us figure that out in front of the entire class. And for mine, it had to be heroin balloon. Because he just threw me out in front of and I had to come up with something, and I tried to come up with something crazy. One of the guy before me did a slideshow about a local like racetrack near his house, and the teacher and the professor was like, "Oh, it sounded like that was professional. You're reading for a script. I can see this being on a big screen." On mine plays like, "Are you ready? All right, this is just absolutely." And then any of the people after, I don't get it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Well, but anyone who wants to see something funny, they can go watch literally that thing, and I'll call it A Walk in the Park, and it's on my channel. And I will warn you, it's not shot professionally as a cinematography project because I had no idea that was what I was supposed to be doing. But it is really hilarious, and everyone who's watched it, other than actually even him, thought it was hilarious. He just figured spending 20 minutes telling you what a piece of shit I was for filming it badly was worth his time, even though by his own admission the week before he said, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing shitty. And guess what? I don't have as much time as all the 20-year-olds who are just going there to blow up his class. I actually am a 30-year-old person who's working 2 jobs to try and put myself through college. But thank you very much for making me feel worthless for just trying to do what your own instructions were.
A Walk in the Park, I saw the thumbnail for that on your page, and yeah, it looked pretty shitty.
Thanks, man. It is.
That's why I didn't click on it. But terrible. I will now that you gave me the underground review.
Nah, don't bother.
Don't bother watching it?
No, it's terrible. It's not. It'll make your eyeballs bleed. If you even so much as look at it, you'll just think it's so much of a piece of shit that you couldn't possibly bear to show it. I'm actually surprised he showed it to the rest of the class the way he carried on about it. I mean, my God. We have standards in this class. No. Hey. But the only reason he felt capable of doing that is because he doesn't know who the fuck I am or what the fuck I go through. And if he wanted me to make a film or anything, because other people turned in way worse shit that was shit, and there was no writing, and there was no comedy, and there's no drama, there's no this, there's that, but it was shot well. If I had known that it just had to be shot well, I would have contacted one of the dozens of people I know who know how to shoot things well. But what he required from us for this was to scratch our itch. And hey, it's not worth doing right, it's worth doing shitty. You've got to do it no matter what. Do it. I had multiple people not show up to the shoot. I shot again the next day just to get shots that I could get included. But I got like ridiculously, I wouldn't be making this big of a deal of it if everyone had been treated the same way, but no one was except me. And it might have even been because I had to stop him in the middle of his diatribe and say, hey,
don't get hung up on it, man. You're going in circles now. You're going in circles. Don't get hung up, bro. I'm sure you did good. I'm sure it's a great video. I'm going to watch it tonight.
You don't
don't get hung up on it, though, man. You move on. You try. You just keep doing what you want to do. Do your thing. Don't worry about him.
Well, that's the irony of the whole thing, you know?
You're going to pass the class. I'm sure of that.
The whole thing was scratch your itch as a whatever maker, as a storyteller. No,
I've had a lot of stupid professors too that told me one thing, I did it, and then they wanted something else. It happens, man.
I wouldn't have had to go through. I don't respond well to that shit. And he also assumed that I was just someone blowing.
Well, fight him.
I'm planning to actually, but
fight him. Call him out. Fight him in the courtyard. It's one or the other. Either let it go or fight him. That's your options.
My next film, I'm planning on making it about that, but still, I don't know. I don't get to talk to this about anyone with anyone, so
that's the eye of Hoff there, Biden Dutch. I'm sorry, man. I wasn't trying to do that. I'm just saying I don't want you to get too upset about it because I've been there. You keep playing it over in your mind and it eats you up inside. It's best to let it go, move forward, try to do better, or just keep going on your own path. Or
I
fight
just really don't like. I get you. I just don't like being publicly humiliated, and so part of my is finding out how to get back at him without fucking up my grade. Or just let it go.
Well, you're becoming Rian Johnson, man. You're going to make a Last Jedi just to piss him off.
He didn't make the Last Jedi to piss people off. He made the Last Jedi because...
No, he did.
I mean, yes, to piss people off, but that's what he wanted to do all along. I literally tried my best to meet this professor's demands, but he made his demands so vague. Well,
maybe that's how Rian Johnson started out. He started out just trying to do his best, and people upset him.
He was the wrong... No.
You're the next Rian Johnson, buddy. Be careful. Don't go down that path. Dark road. Jesus.
Rian Johnson, I respect as a filmmaker only because he actually stands by what he actually said he wanted to do. I've come to realize that he is not the real problem behind The Last Jedi. Kathleen Kennedy hiring him for that position is the real problem. She has no idea how to direct an overarching story, and he had no desire to fill in the gap between the two stories being told, and that's exactly why they had to come back to JJ to just fill in the fucking pieces. So
you can't
thank you for comparing me to fucking Rian Johnson. That helps me.
No, it's not comparing you to Rian Johnson. It's giving you a warning of your future. It's like one of those Jedi visions or whatever, you know.
You've taken a lot of
what's up? Dude, that was all just a joke, man. I'm sorry if you're really upset about that.
I am talking about like
parallels between
shit
Star
that
Wars.
I'm actually upset about.
All right, I know, man. I'm just trying to. I don't know how to actually talk about things like that. I was just trying to lighten it up for you. I don't know. Do you want me to yell at your professor for you? Give me his phone number or something. What else do you want me to do here?
Yes, his name is Daniel Madla.
I'm here for comedy. Jesus Christ, and I don't know what you want me to say about your damn professor, dude. I'm just asking you to lighten up about it, not eat yourself up inside about it, because that's what you're doing.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm sorry I didn't take it seriously. I mean,
no, it's fine. We can talk about something else now.
I did take it seriously.
Yeah,
I can head out.
Talk about something else now. It's fine. I fell victim.
Was I out of line?
No, you're fine. I was just talking about like literally something's I wasn't, but it's fine. It's not. You're fine. You're like you haven't. I get what you're saying, and I should let it go more, but this is one of the things that I have trouble with, and I did not want to talk about it, and I told you that, and I know that you're trying to get me to not to talk about it, so I want to do that, and so let's not talk.
No, I just want you to like not dwell on it, man. That's all I want you to do.
Oh, I don't want to dwell on it, man.
That's all I'm trying to do. That's why, and I wasn't comparing you to Rian Johnson. That was a joke.
I know.
Joking about going down a dark path like Star Wars, like Darth Vader. That's what I mean.
I know.
It's all a joke, man.
It was way too close though to the heart on like a couple things, and that's not your fault. That was entirely that. You know, I was just like,
you're upset, man, but I don't know how to deal with those things. I'm lacking those social attributes myself to know how to deal with those things. So I just always try to make a joke of something, and that don't always work. And I apologize for that.
It's all right, man. I like the fact that you try to make a joke out of it.
None of that serious. I adore everything that you do and everything that you make on your channel. You know, I think that you have a bright future ahead of you and all of that.
I
I was just.
know. I
I
think the
mean,
same thing about
you
you.
told, you just told me to shut the fuck up a second before. So
Well, I don't want you to universally praise me, but I also don't want you to like. I think you know how contentious that is comparing me to Ryan Johnson.
well, that's why
You
I thought
know
you
that's gonna get me
funny,
fired up.
man. That's why I
You
thought
know
you'd think it was
that's
funny, though. That's the best
it
roast of
does.
all. Is the one that burns deep, you know.
Well, that's why I started listening the differences, and well, that's one of my biggest problems with him is like the way like what. That's why I started talking about Kathleen Kennedy and like why he was trying to do what he like because, and also, did you hear someone wants Gandalf to be a woman in the new Lord of the Rings movies?
What? I thought they're only like I thought they made all the movies books, books and movies, except for
Well, apparently
Silmarillion.
Amazon Prime is making some new stuff. And Josiah Rises just put out a video, which I haven't watched, that I think just said some random person wants Gandalf to be a woman, which is just clickbait nonsense. But
I think that's the real issue here. Is that people are getting up in arms about this stuff. I think if we stopped getting upset about women being in roles and stopped clicking on things, then it wouldn't get the same attention that it's getting, and it would go away. You know.
and I agree with you for the most
And
part.
just like Marvel comics are going away, you know.
But this isn't even like some of the arguments they get, like at the base level.
First of all, can I ask you why are they making a Lord of the Rings series?
Money.
It's not going to be better than the movies, and it's.
But
there's
that's
no
why
other
they made the
material
movies.
unless you make stuff up or whatever.
Everything's done for money.
I know, but it's not going to be better than the movies. I mean, I didn't say it's not going to make more. I'm just saying it's
Those
not going to
only got made because of money.
The originals?
Yeah.
Well,
they had to convince them to make the other three by making the first one without any budget. And then they had to make up time with the other ones, and they did an amazing job. Don't get me wrong. But the only reason that happened was money, and that was also at a time when green screen technology wasn't as rampant, and now you can make any fantasy movie, and I'm just being cynical here, but you can make anything with a bunch of CGI, and that's what Marvel's doing. That's what everyone's doing. Lord of the Rings was made at a wonderful time after Star Wars the prequels, which started it. Actually, I'll say the 80s started it, but like practical effects mixed with, like CGI. I guess Star Wars started it, but like the real combination of those two things. Lord of the Rings was made at a time when they literally did as much as they could with practical effects, and they had the like CGI at the time to make up for what they didn't have. Nowadays, they do it the other way around. Anything can be done with CGI. Hell, we don't even need actors. We'll just do the entire thing in CGI. And that's the difference between like the Hobbit movies and the original Lord of the Rings. It's like, oh shit, just throw in a bunch of CGI. That's all they care about. Star Wars, all they want is lasers and lightsaber battles and cool effects. Give them that. Total misunderstanding of what made Star Wars totally popular, but sure. Star Wars didn't become the best thing ever because it was just of the special effects. There's a story behind it. Lord of the Rings didn't become super popular worldwide just because of the special effects of the movies. It was because it was already a story that people were interested in. You can't, and if you suddenly start abandoning the story that people were originally interested in the first place, then I don't know what you expect when people start abandoning your project, which is what's happening to Star Wars and will probably happen to Lord of the Rings, but they want to talk about loud vocal minorities, talk about people demanding to have gay and lesbian characters and whatnot in Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they can't be in there, but what purpose does that serve the story? What
talk
story are you telling?
Talk about remakes done the right way. I picked this up yesterday.
Oh my gosh, nice. My brother just told me
it's a remake of a 1993 game I was telling you about the other day. I was excited to get it, and it is so much fun. And I don't know, I couldn't put it down yesterday. I've been busy all day today. Probably gonna put it in as soon as this stream is over. No rush, but yeah, it's really really good. And I don't remember the last time they like completely remade a game like this for modern day systems or technology, and it's blowing my mind. And plus, it was such a good choice. Also, it's a very bizarre Zelda game. There's a lot going on. The colors are just so vibrant. My eyes like water while I'm playing it because it's just like it comes at you. But overall, I'm having a great experience with it. I'm like 2 to 3 dungeons in, I think. And if you have a Switch, definitely pick it up.
Now, I remember playing that on the Game Boy, but with the colors and everything, I can imagine. And I can imagine how they could easily remake more games to... I mean, I played that. That was originally on on the Game Boy, yeah.
I'd like to see a nice Contra 3 remake. That would be nice.
I wouldn't mind Kirby's Dream Land. I mean, although now it seems so different because like Game Boy games, like sometimes the entirety of them was literally able to be done in like an hour or so. Maybe there's different ways with that, but that was like a different age of gaming. Now, like to remake that game, Link's Awakening is a little bit different in that respect, but there are like other games that I would pay for and have paid for, even just like even on Xbox and like other things on like where you want.
Well,
like
maybe
Fable,
the start of something new. Maybe because I'm going to be honest with you, Vase. As I get older, I don't have time to put into these really long, like 40-hour stories in games. I like the retro games. I can pick it up from time to time, know exactly where I am, what the buttons are, rather than trying to relearn all these different buttons and techniques and where I am in the story and everything. And like, it's perfect for me. This game is because it's kind of where I am. Like I bought the NES and the SNES classics, and they're a lot of fun. That's like what I've been spending a lot of my time on. I don't even play my Xbox that much anymore. It's just too much for me, to be honest with you.
I totally get what you're saying, and I value a lot of those games more, and even the ones that like you used to only be able to play, say, on a big screen, like back when it was SNES or like the NES or even like N64. The fact that you can now put those onto smaller screens and stuff like that, that will and even bigger screens and whatnot. Like, I know even couple of years ago, I was back playing several games from the Super Nintendo just because I really enjoyed their storyline and their game mechanics. Like, just having good graphics isn't enough for everyone always, and it won't last as much as other things.
You can relate that straight to movies. Visually, movies can be stunning, but the story's not there, and that's not where the quality is at all. It's it's
and you can like, even look at movies.
It's like a pile of shit poop with icing on top of it and being called a cake. You know what I mean?
Look, isn't this great? What? Just because you covered it in icing?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not.
It's a pile of shit.
Figure that out. People and
they are. And that's why I think it's hilarious. These articles are coming out. It's like, Rise of Skywalker might not make as much as you think it will. And I'm like, me and a bunch of other people didn't think it was going to do amazing as its predecessors.
The collapse is coming. I'm going to see Jumanji that weekend.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It would be one thing really it was like just cats, but like, yeah, Jumanji, for sure. The Rock.
Let me tell you something. Have you seen
Kevin Hart? Gotta support Kevin Hart.
Have you? Yeah, absolutely. You seen the Welcome to the Jungle one?
Yeah.
Dude, I went into that thinking it was going to be a crap show, and I came out of it thinking it was awesome, and I had a great time.
I had a way better time watching that movie with low expectations than I did seeing The Last Jedi with just, I guess, Star Wars expectations. But at the time,
And I had high expectations for Last Jedi.
Me too.
High.
I mean, if I'm being like, with the
all
way
that
they built it
promo
up,
came out, and they were all wearing
the
like
way you
these
built
red
it up.
robes they never wore in the movies. Like,
such a pile. And now they're just trying to guilt people into seeing the last one. And I'm like, I'd rather just let's go see Cats. That looks
no. I'd much rather see Rise of Skywalker than Cats, though. I do have my freaking standards.
I'll buy my ticket for Cats.
No, don't give Cats money. Don't. That's so weird. Don't give Cats money. Give Jumanji money. Jack Black.
Are they coming out the same weekend? I thought Jumanji was coming out a week later.
I'm not sure what it all is. I just know Jumanji, Cats, and Rise of Skywalker are all around the same time.
Look, if I have my options, I'm not giving anybody any money, but I would most likely pay for Jumanji out of
HelloPirateBay.org.
Actually, the only one I would pay for is Jumanji. I won't pay to see the Rise of Skywalker. I'm really just disgusted with their entire business strategy at this point. Not even as just like a Star Wars fan, just looking at it from like, ugh. And kids don't like it either. So it's not like you've pissed off the parents, but at least you're gonna get the next generation of kids. No, they hate your toys. They're not buying them. They don't care. They don't like your story.
Speaking of toys, dude,
they don't care. Buying Marvel stuff.
I'm getting rid of a lot of my Last Jedi stuff, and that's been a big process because I don't have much of it, and the Force Awakens stuff, not just Last Jedi, pretty much anything from the new sequel trilogy, right? And I plan to get rid of every bit of that and sell it off or throw it away. I've already thrown away some things or just whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, Ryan's here in the chat. But let me show you this. All right. Can you give me just a second here?
No.
Can you give me? I will be right back.
Just kidding.
I will be right back. I'm still here.
Do what you do.
Okay, so I'm getting rid of Last Jedi stuff. Let me show you what I bought yesterday when I went to GameStop to get my Zelda game they had this year. A Phantom Menace figure. You know why? Because Phantom Menace is still better than anything Disney has put out. And I still love that movie. I don't care what anyone says.
Phantom Menace?
Yeah, and the face is awesome on this. Can you see that?
I thought you were saying you were getting rid of that.
No. I just bought this one yesterday. I'm saying
good, yeah. Oh my god. What I'm saying is I heard you just like, this is the next thing I'm going to throw away because of The Last Jedi. And then I was like, this from the Phantom Menace. And I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Now I hear you. Oh, you bought
contrast. Yeah, the contrast is I'm still buying stuff from the Phantom Menace. Yes. But I'm getting rid of my Last Jedi.
Hell yes. Well, hell yes.
Can you believe how good that face looks on this, dude?
Absolutely.
This is probably the best looking figure they've done yet, dude. Look at that.
Dude, he looks like he's about to if you put a red screen in front of that, he's about to face down Darth Maul. He just
Dude, what do you mean? Do you mean this Darth Maul?
Oh.
Actually, I got the whole trio together today, bro, to set up a little diorama. Dude, and they look awesome, man. I love them. My whole point is that yesterday I bought something from the Phantom Menace. But also yesterday I was trying to get rid of Last Jedi stuff.
I went out there with the intention of getting rid of some Star Wars stuff, and
if he's asking if the Darth Maul pulls apart, I'm not sure. I don't want to pull on it too hard. I feel like it maybe. Yeah, it's definitely not a magnet. Definitely not a magnet because it's too good in there. Yeah. So. But the lightsaber does come apart into two parts, and he comes with a cloak. So yeah.
Never bet the Fett man.
No, I'd never bet the Fett man.
You never gamble with something that you can't lose.
I would definitely bet the Snoke man though.
Just that guy. Oh my gosh.
Uncle Snoke.
And you can see how their marketing teams and their story teams are completely on different levels. When I say story teams, I mean they just threw it out to whoever. But if you remember, like Snoke's backstory in the marketing, he was like, he watched the rise and fall of the Sith. He's something you've never seen. He watched the rise and fall of the Empire. He's this derp 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 derp. Look out! Here comes Ryan Johnson. He's gonna fuck it up worse than JJ could have. It's just out the window now. Hey, good luck now. JJ's back. Come on back. We're gonna have fun again. Don't worry.
Also, don't forget whenever Ryan Roundhead Johnson held up that sticker in that picture saying your Snoke theory sucks.
Just because we said
he knew he just filmed the scene.
We don't want your money. Ha ha! Give us your money. You suck. Please give us your money. Hey, you are a piece of shit. Now come back and give us your money. You worthless piece of crap. Your morals are dirty and bad. Now give us your money. Hey, come give us your money because you suck. If I can respond to that, no. I won't come give my money. I don't feel like giving it to you. You shat on my face after I said, hey, why that doo-doo? I'm sorry I'm not very good at coming up with songs right now. It wasn't what I
thought the melody was good.
I'm doing the best I can.
That's a Rush song, Best I Can. Or Best I Can.
Actually,
I'm just doing the best I can.
Actually, the song Spirit of the Radio is kind of how I feel about Star Wars right now.
Because the endless prizes or glittering prizes and endless compromise shatter the illusion of integrity.
One likes to believe in the freedom of Star Wars, but glittering prizes and endless compromises shatter the illusion of integrity. Yeah. How about a little variety? Bitch, Rush is variety.
Yeah, they are pretty much the definition of that.
Sorry, let me give you some electronic dance music.
I've been just listening to that Starset band nonstop since I seen them and their new album came out.
Listen to all of them.
My video is doing really well, man. Like really well. Probably best video I ever posted. So I'm excited about that. I'm glad people are watching Starset and learning about them because they deserve to be. I'm just worried that they're going to sell more tickets. It's going to be a problem for me to get tickets in the future.
That is.
And I'm not helping myself out here by posting
very
videos.
Selfish of you. But that being said, I didn't have anything else. It is good that you're spreading the word on that band.
Oh, they deserve the attention. 100%. No, I meant that as a joke. I mean, I want them to get as much attention as possible. That way, make music, you know what I mean? No one buys their music. No one's gonna watch them. Obviously,
exactly. No, hey, check out Starset. Hoff was just there. He's got a new video out. You can check it out on Hoffcast. Go look and enjoy and listen and enjoy, and then listen to Starset.
Yeah, their new album Divisions is amazing. Absolutely. They incorporate a little EDM into their music. That's
awesome.
Also what reminded me of that.
Yeah, I like I know we talked about this before, but like a lot of different bands like that. I haven't actually got a chance to listen to them since you told me about them, but I am looking forward to it. Because we have very similar tastes in music, which we already know.
Hey, I watched Theo Vaughn's podcast earlier today from I think it was about a week ago, where he had Bill Burr on. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Bill Burr was kind of an asshole to him for most of the show.
Really?
But in a good way. He was polite, but he was just like kind of just putting Theo in his place. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
showing how absurd he is and everything, and telling him to like. I feel like it was like a rite of passage sort of thing rather than a disrespect sort of thing. You know what I mean?
You know, I'm a big fan of Bill Burr. I think actually the last time we actually talked about Bill Burr, I hadn't seen his new special. Have we talked since?
I don't believe so. I don't believe we have. Have you
I
seen?
watched his and David Tell, or not David Tell.
David Tell, Dave Chappelle. I never realized how close their names were.
Very close, very different. Actually, kind of similar in the fact that they don't give a shit. But I gotta say, similar topics. I enjoyed both of them a lot. Bill Burr probably went about his. Not that they were even talking about the same thing. I would say Bill Burr, since he's been doing it for so long, continuously. I'm not gonna say by himself, but he's smarter about how to play the room now than Dave Chappelle. And I'm not saying Dave Chappelle is wrong about what he said. I actually liked what he said. I think some people are taking it too seriously. Especially, it's so funny with the title of the thing being called Sticks and Stones. The thing that I usually send them back to is Steve Hughes' thing, where he's talking about getting offended.
I think Bill Burr is more of a storyteller and more of the value in the story than the value in the overall joke and shock and laugh. Yeah,
like because again, okay, in that respect, also Dave Chappelle during that Sticks and Stones did a lot of the time, and this was a strategy that he used to show that literally even he's saying what he just said was ridiculous, but he like turns around and he slaps the mic against his leg.
He's always done that. Yeah, he's always done that.
And that's always, and I'm not saying he just started doing it, but like that. But when people are taking it out of context, like a lot of people have written a lot of stuff about Dave Chappelle stuff. I haven't seen nearly as many articles about Bill Burr's thing. And
that's my whole video about Bill Burr. His new special is about. I don't think it will get the attention, even though it's almost just as controversial. It's all about how he went about it.
I wanted to make sure, actually, absolutely. And if you can, and let's watch and check out Hoff's video, because that's one of the reasons that I decided to make sure I watched both of them before I got a chance to talk to him again. Check out what is it called, Hoff?
Which one?
Your video on why Bill Burr won't get as much attention.
Oh, it's just Hoff reviews Bill Burr Paper Tiger.
Hoff reviews Bill Burr Paper Tiger.
And then the Dave Chappelle one's named something clickbaity or whatever, like about being controversial. I don't remember the title.
And I haven't gone into detail on any of them, but I did want to talk to you about them when I got the chance. And that's the thing. I guess if I were to straight up say, like, compare the two of them, I think Dave Chappelle's going to get more flack just because he went at it in a more straightforward, more.
Can I put it this way?
Yeah. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
I laughed more at Dave Chappelle's and I laughed harder, but I enjoyed overall Bill Burr's more because I just like the content more and the way he does it. But I think that's a whole two different styles. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about. Like I said, I laughed more at Dave Chappelle just because of how out of nowhere some of the jokes were and how shocking or whatever they were. But Bill Burr is like, he kind of like lures you into the story and then gets you. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's an interesting thing to bring up, is like the difference in the way that they tell stories and like what their overall goals were in what they were saying. And if we're looking at it from a filmmaker's perspective, I know for a fact that Bill Burr's was shot over at least one or two different shows.
Yeah, two different shows. But he says he likes to keep most of the content from one, and just anything else he needs to add in.
And what they included in it was one of the people, like, not heckling him per se, but I actually really thought that was a great part of the show, because it really expounded on exactly the kind of point that I think both of them were trying to make, but Bill Burr did more efficiently.
Well, if you
Like,
listen to Bill Burr's podcast, dude, he gets heckled all the time by
yeah.
people yelling at him and being mad. He
Oh,
was just
I've heard
talking on Theo's podcast about how when he first started telling this joke, he wouldn't say which one. But when he first started telling a joke, like there are people who were waiting for him after the show, like women after the show waiting to just yell at him
Yeah.
and tell him how bad he is. And then after he honed it in and got the joke down, same joke, people were coming up, like women were coming up to him saying, that's like story of my life. That's hilarious. I'm glad you said that tonight. It's just, I don't know. It's a fine line and it's an art, you know?
And that is exactly why. And you're absolutely right. And I know this from telling jokes on stage and from having going through some of that, not nearly as much as he has. He's much better, has a greater perspective on it than I ever will. I understand that. But when I hear something like that, and then I see the thing that he chose to show during his actual special, he wanted to highlight that kind of thing. And he did that by showing that the joke that he did with, is like, what if someone's into rough sex? And someone from the audience yells out, like, ask consent. And he's like, did you hear what the fuck this little jackass just yelled out?
Yeah.
Like, did you hear what I said? And then what he interpreted it as? And that what he thinks now he has to do? Like, and what he never went into, which I totally respect him for, because he knew not to get into that, was just to like the minutia of it. Like, this person in the audience, when I said, what if someone likes rough sex, heard, what if I want to rape someone? Which is not at all even what he said or what he intended, but his part of what his entire point of the entire show was about. Same as Dave Chappelle is like, not as much as Dave Chappelle, but definitely more in Paper Tiger. Like, specifically, he's like, once it's out of my mouth,
but it played straight into his joke.
Take it however you want to take it. You know what I mean? Like, you can infer, and that's why you. And I think part of the reason is because on a lot of these different like articles, you'll see people just post the jokes, like, and they'll just write out. They will write out just in text a comedian's joke with no context, and then be like, "Can you believe this person said that?" And I just sit there going, "Yes," because it was probably in the context of a goddamn motherfucking comedy club.
Have you heard of Shane Gillis?
Yeah, actually, I know him.
He was that guy who just got hired to Saturday Night Live.
I've performed.
What, really?
Yes, he lives in Pennsylvania. I live in Maryland. I used to do stand-up comedy. I know plenty. I've seen it's all over the place here. It's all over the place.
Well, he just got hired to Saturday Night Live and then fired from Saturday Night Live for saying a racial slur about Asian people.
Frankly, I wouldn't have said what he said on any podcast ever, unless I was too blacked out to even remember I said it. But even then, if I'd found out that I said it, I would have been like, I need help, because he's like literally throwing around slurs. Okay, and it's one thing or another. I never knew the guy that well. I don't really care, but frankly,
I didn't hear the actual audio of it. I have no idea what the context is. That's where I'm coming from.
Asian people chinks. He called other people different things. He called. I mean, he just literally kind of uses. He just attacks people to be funny. It's not, you know what I mean? He called what's his face, who did like Funny People, the guy that Judd Apatow, he called him like a faggot white man, and like anyone that makes movies like that is just a pathetic blah blah. I mean, he said a bunch of stuff. I don't know how he ever got hired to Saturday Night Live in the first place, and I'm not surprised he got fired. But
I hadn't heard of him until like today.
Yeah. Well,
so
he's just local to me, and like something that I was used to be involved in. But like, again, like I know tons of comedians, and like here's the if you go to a stand-up comedy like of just, hey, it's a sign-up thing, everybody gets 5 minutes, you don't know what the hell people are going to be saying. Now,
I heard he did that on a podcast though.
Yeah, he's got a podcast and he's got different stuff, and then like to be found out about that. And other people have said like, hey, him being immediately hired and then fired is going to do more for his career than if they had never hired him at all. And it's like, what did you like? then maybe they should have vetted him more thoroughly if that's not what they wanted. And I don't think that's that hard of a thing to do. What they do, like interview him and then not listen
Well,
to
what I'm interested in is where do you think the line is? I mean, obviously you think what he's saying is hate speech, where it's not a joke. And where other comedians can say those words and
I defy
and
you. If you can bring me some examples, then I'll be glad to talk about this. But I think if you're throwing around slurs about other races and you don't actually have any leg to stand on other than you are just trying to insult them, like he's not making jokes about.
I can give you examples.
You know,
I've been watching It's Always Sunny all day.
He's not making jokes about Judd Apatow being like, oh. He's just literally saying, you know, emotional faggot white comedians like that, you know, why should I even listen?
That's different. Yeah, I mean,
that's literally like his word. Like,
I just heard about him today. I have no context about the guy.
Look up the context, and I would say, I don't know. I'm not saying that you can't say those things as a comedian. I'm not saying that they can't be said. I'm just saying that I'm surprised that Saturday Night Live would ever pick him up or ever even consider it. Like, you know what I mean?
What I'm saying is, though, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, in argument to what you were saying, slurs can be used in a good way that is not offensive.
Tell me how. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
I can give you 2 examples right now.
Use the N-word.
I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to say that on your channel.
Use the C word.
No, I can give you the example, but just not use the word. I'm talking about It's Always Sunny earlier. When I was watching It's Always Sunny.
That's also different than.
I know that, but that's what my comparison was. I said it was not the same context, but you can still use slurs to be funny, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it also entirely depends upon the context.
Absolutely, and that's what I was saying. And I don't know the context whatsoever of this guy we're talking about, but I do know the context of It's Always Sunny, and it's hilarious.
Yes, and that's why they can do it, and that's why they've done some actually really amazing things along the lines of race. Like, I think their musical episode, I don't even know, have you seen that one?
I hate that one. I skipped it earlier. I hate that episode. I hate all musicals. It doesn't matter what it's about. I don't care. I hate every musical ever made. That's why I hate Cats.
Watch it. You haven't watched it, but you hate it.
No, I watched it. No, I have watched it. I watched it once. I just skipped it earlier whenever I was watching It's Always Sunny on Hulu.
Okay, well, hold on. Did you appreciate like the points they're trying to make?
Yeah, I got the humor. I just hate musicals.
You just don't like musicals. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the humor or the point. I just hate musicals. I hate people singing.
Well, I was just saying in that context, some of the stuff that they're talking about is funny because, and like Tropic Thunder, blackface is funny. Every time someone brings up how blackface is never appropriate, I bring up, and literally I'm talking to black people. I'm like, did you like Tropic Thunder? 90% of the time they're like, yeah, but that's different. And I'm like, exactly. It is, and most of them, at least half.
Vase, we're getting a lot of crap for our backgrounds, man. Fatal J is calling them bed sheets now. Hey, Fatal J, what's up, man?
Oh, hey, I'm sorry I'm not rich like you, Fatal. God, Jesus. Should I switch one of my other backgrounds? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. You know what? Here I am, sitting here in my poverty, just doing my best to try and make a YouTube living. I am getting assaulted over my. You know what? That is going to radicalize me into being a Joker painted face, shoot 'em up guy. And if I get arrested tomorrow for no reason, it's because I just said that on YouTube.
I don't know him.
I am not, and I don't have weapons, and I don't like weapons, and I don't. If someone came to kill me right now, I would die because I'd be like, I have no weapons. Now I'm just inviting people to come and kill me.
Dude, you are just blowing it on all sides here. You went from too threatening to not threatening enough.
Gotta find that middle ground, I guess.
Exactly.
I have a nuke that I'm not sure how to use.
I like to keep a World War II bayonet underneath my bed.
I just throw a grenade through your window.
And 2 aluminum baseball
bats. And I would
bats.
stab it out of the air. Fatal J, just smash that like button like it was Beyonce. Oh, you should have liked it. Should have smashed it like it was a bayonet, because now you're gonna get Beyonce.
I'm not saying Beyonce is not a beautiful woman, but her music sucks real bad. You ever heard that song
Riding
Single
on
Ladies?
the surfboard.
Single Ladies is the worst song ever written. There's no breath in that whole song. There's not a single point in that song where you just be like, oh, the song's just not blasting in my face right now with just stupid beats and melodies and talking about women. All single ladies, all single ladies, all single ladies, all single ladies. It's just so much, and and then all the fat bitches get up on the bar and start dancing, and you're wondering if that 25-year-old bar is gonna hold up. Then all the liquor's behind it. You don't want to see that go either. It's a bad song to play.
It's a bad.
And
it's a bad song to play.
It's always the fat bitches dancing to it because never mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's put your hands up.
I was gonna say because they're the single ladies, you know. But yeah, anyways.
You put a ring on it, right?
Yeah, put a ring on that. Put a onion ring on. I don't know.
So put your hands up, and then they all fall down because the bar collapses, and then that's when you dive behind the bar, grab all the drinks you can, and run out the front door. And ignore those sprawling single ladies, because they ain't gonna do nothing for you to try and take that money. You need that money. Or you don't, and if you don't, give it to me.
I've been avoiding phone calls.
You been getting phone calls?
What?
You're so popular.
Nah, people just try to take advantage.
Hanstar said he gently caressed the like button.
He also said big girls need love too, Hoff. I understand that, but they need to stay off the bar whenever Single Ladies comes on by Beyonce. They need to stay off the bar.
I think you need to start going to bars where single ladies.
Huh?
So I think you need to start going to bars where single ladies comes on.
That's what I've been talking about this whole time.
Yeah, go to a different bar.
They're all the same, man.
There's only one bar in town, and they insist on playing single ladies. I went to the jukebox, which is what they still use, a jukebox, ladies and gentlemen, and I flipped through the records, and unbelievably, it was just single ladies. I didn't even know they made vinyl records of that, but they did, and they're all apparently contained in the jukebox at Hoff's local watering hole.
Every bar and place single ladies, and every place of working.
A GoFundMe for Hoff so that he can buy out all of these places of business and install, if nothing else, new music.
Yeah, I won't put no Beyonce in those jukeboxes. I guarantee it.
Is important. It matters more than your next local election. It matters more than your next state election. Hell, it matters more than your next galactic convention. And you don't even know when that's taking place.
Donate to Hoff's Jukebox Fund.
If you want to know more, contact hoffandvaseinyourface.com.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That should have been the name of the show rather than Weekly Showcase. Damn it.
A lot of things should have been the name of the show, but we just decided to start doing it.
I feel like it's generic enough to cover all the grounds. You know what I mean?
It still works. There are better. We can change it whenever we want. Fuck it. Do you want to change it?
That if you come up with something better, I'm not putting the work into that.
Hoff and Vase in your face.
Actually, if that's what's going to be, I did say it was better, so maybe it will be. Maybe it will be.
I'm not like, I don't care what we can call it everything every week a new rhyme. I don't care.
Hoff and Vase, just in case.
Vase and Vase. You're never first.
Hoff and Vase from outer space.
Hoff and Vase, just in case. Hoff and Vase. Loving place, Hoff and Vase. You need it right now.
Hoff and Vase without a trace.
Without a trace.
Hoff and Vase
We are Hoff and Vase.
put you in your
La
place.
la la. La la la.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020.
I guess. Maybe now wasn't the time for brainstorming.
I think
Don't go to the bar next to Jenny Craig. I think that's a good note.
there's one. I'm just I don't know. Single ladies at my age, all the single women are divorcees and they've had kids. So you do the math, you know?
You get Lunchables when you leave the next morning. I hear you.
Sure. Swipe one or two from it. Yeah, from the old fridge.
I look at the silver lining.
Senate's here. Thanks for the memes the other night. Senate, appreciate that.
Oh, we love you, Senate, and Henstar, and all of our Fatal J, Ryan, all of you in the chat. But Senate, yeah, those memes were hilarious. I was Thor.
I was Captain America.
That was just elated me. It took me a second. I was like, who am I? I'm Big Head Thor. That's awesome, Captain.
I thought about
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all of those who oppose his shield must yield. Unless they're playing an iceberg, in which case you will freeze.
I'm just glad. I want Senate to meme me saying no. I don't think I will. With my face on Captain America's old, you know. Oh, he's wearing the old jacket, you know.
Oh yeah, after he's spawned his own niece and whatnot.
Whatever he did, I don't know.
We
man.
don't know. None of us do. We're
that.
waiting to find out. I think that's what the future of the MCU is. How did Captain America? I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but it really is so.
So it says make the Captain America post.
I'm my own grandpa.
Let me see how the actual meme looks, and I will try to do it for you.
It sounds funny, I know, but it Mimi is so.
So he's looking off to his right.
Grandpa.
He's looking off to his right a little bit with a little bit of a smirk to his left side there.
I don't think
so. It's like, but I think it'd have to be this way because that's the way the meme would be.
Well, also he can reverse it in Photoshop. You notice how? And if you notice how to add a bunch of Craigs to your face, like literally like crevices.
No, I don't think I will.
Yeah. Like as much as you can look like Tarkin, throw just a Tarkin on his face. I could smell your old man stench everything since you came on board.
Hopefully that's enough for you to work with. If you need more, let me know. But that's the best I can do right now. I feel like that would be. Oh, he wants me to zoom in. Okay, I can just get closer. I don't know how to zoom in.
Hey, hold on. I'll make you full screen.
Okay, there we go.
I can do that, right? Can you
try to look up? Do the smirk.
Is that how I do it? How do I do it? Boop, boop, boop.
That's it. No, I'm the other one. There we go.
Boop.
Nope.
Boop.
I'm the other one.
Boop.
No, I'm the other one.
Boop.
No, I'm the other one. No, I'm the other one.
How do I do it to you?
That's what she said.
Oh no, there you go.
Just click on that little square up in my screen at the bottom. You see that where it has like a outline of a person? Yeah, that one. So I'm okay over here like this. No, don't think I will. Ask me a question I don't think I know I will.
Oh, I want your smile to be a little bit more like shit eating. Like I don't think I will. Smile more for yourself.
Well, ask me a question that I don't think I will on. Like ask me if I'll watch The Rise of Skywalker.
Will you watch The Rise of Skywalker?
No, don't think I will.
It's really good.
Is that good?
I think so.
Is it too much off this side? No, I don't think it is.
Was that even his good side? You would know. Well, do you know? Is that your best side? I think we decided. We'll just hope for the best. I usually do. I never plan.
If the Senate makes that, that will be my favorite meme of all time, and I will appreciate it, and I will thank you very much. Yes.
I actually do like how our red is.
Nah, he said the stream's in 480, so yeah, I don't care about the quality. If I just see it, I'm gonna laugh, dude. Then thank you.
If it's awesome. Anything less than 4K, we're gonna come. We're gonna find you, and we're gonna be like, "Hey, it's all right. Can we buy you a burger?"
Still, yeah.
You said we couldn't do it. I apologize. I wanted to get you a burger. I was outvoted. Everyone knows that Hoff wears the pants in this Vase and shit. Hoff Vase and shit.
Hoff Vase and shit. It's not a bad one.
I'm having fun.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Ooh, ooh.
I've been burping up my dinner for like 6 hours now.
What'd you have for dinner?
I had these sausages I got from Kroger that were Asiago garlic, and then I cooked them in beer and jalapenos.
I would go with all of that except for the jalapenos, but even with that, that sounds pretty darn good. Pretty darn good.
I have this mango hot sauce. It's
really although I can imagine them burping for a time afterwards.
Yeah. So this whole show, I've just been like, just trying to keep back the burps.
We appreciate it. I guess. I don't know. 5. Senate likes burgers. I also like burgers.
I love burgers.
Obi-Wan. What burger would Obi-Wan have ordered in Dex's diner had he got the choice? He just ordered some Jawa juice. I imagine that means he was hungover because Obi-Wan, as we know, likes to spend time in bars. Have we seen anyone in the entire Star Wars, like just the movies, spend more time in bars than Obi-Wan?
Equal amount Han Solo.
I would argue.
Okay, there's 2 movies Han Solo's in bars. There's 2 movies Obi-Wan's in bars.
Obi-Wan's in the same bar with Han Solo. Obi-Wan's in the bar
in Attack of the Clones
2. Yeah. And then he's in Dex's diner.
That's a diner. That's not a bar. It's a diner. They don't serve beer there. They serve milkshakes.
He's certainly more comfortable with taking shots than any Jedi I've ever seen.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I made an entire music video out of it. Well, not out of it entirely, but you know, no hands. DJ got me no hands. Girl, drop it to the floor. And that's when she drops into the Rancor pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great music video.
Rancor's in the front.
Do it with no hands. Chop off some hands. I love the way your booty go down to the bit.
Rancor's in the front. Sarlacc's in the back.
Oh my god, that's a horrifying image. Rancor's in the front. Sarlacc's in the back. I ain't got no choice. Hyperspace out the fucking place. Oh my gosh. That actually does sound horrifying to me, though.
Absolutely.
You got a Rancor up front, you got a Sarlacc out back.
Rancors aren't inherently aggressive, though.
Then
because I read the. I wanted to bring this up on Ryan's stream the other night, but the Tales from Jabba's Palace book. Did you ever read that?
Yep.
Hey, Stig, what's up, man? But there's a whole chapter about the Rancor monster keeper, Mala something, not Malekith, something like that. And
now he had to mistreat it partially.
And he used to ride across the dunes of Tatooine on the back of the Rancor, like some kind of madman, on a steed.
And he was
some kind of crazy Paul Revere. And yeah, he raised the Rancor. He loved it. And it's a shame that we had to see only his sadness in Return of the Jedi and none of the happy times he had with his pet. What are you doing? Sucking dick?
I was looking for my copy of Tales from Jabba's Palace because, like, speaking of which, I should have it right here on the shelf, but I didn't. So
I had mine setting out the other night. I just didn't have a chance to talk about it.
Now I don't know where it is. And
I like the story about the Bomar monks about being trapped in that jar. Like,
yes,
just their brains just being just.
Well, that was why I also like the Tales of the Bounty Hunters, which is another great set of books, and also like the other stories, like the Bounty Hunter Wars and other things that revolved around some of that time period. Definitely, Tales from Jabba's Palace is fun because it gave it wasn't just like even Tales of the Bounty Hunters was just about bounty hunters. Tales of Jabba's Palace was like, hey, remember that random person? They actually had this going on the side.
There's a good story about Boba Fett in there too, I believe.
Oh, there's a really good one actually about Boba Fett, and it's before they decided that he everything that he was doing with the Clone Wars and everything like that. But it was kind of him as before he became the offspring of Jango Fett, and Jango Fett was the student of Jaster Muriel. Jaster Muriel was the name of Boba Fett before he became Boba Fett. And it doesn't entirely ruin the whole idea of Boba Fett, because Boba Fett, even if he is Jaster, even if he's like this other character, if he's just, he has these codes that he goes by with. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see what kind of the stories about people.
Well, and one about him from that one is how he gets out of the Sarlacc pit, which is really interesting.
I remember the one about Jabba's chef there, the Whippet's tail of Mara Jade,
and the guy who's not an elephant. The
Effant Mon, not Elephant Man, Effant Mon. Yeah, I have his action figure actually, Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna, because he became one of these brain fighters, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so, man.
Yep.
And there, Tail of Boba Fett's later on. The Fat Dancer's tail. That's the one with the tits. The sex tits.
Yeah, sex tits.
Yeah, I haven't read this in years, man. I need to get back to this. There's a lot of Max Rebo stuff in here, Free Yeez.
That's how they portrayed him as sounding in Robot Chicken. Are you not a fat elephant? Is all your songs just about a fat elephant? I am not a fat elephant. The best songs by Riz Evans. Why does everything think I'm a fat elephant?
Jesus.
It's my best approximation of it. Just like my best approximation of the other guy who got his hand cut off by Luke. Not by Luke, by Obi-Wan in the bar. Again, he's in the bar.
You're talking about I could see him. God, what's his name?
He's got the butt on his face. Butt face.
I know his name, dude. Ponda Baba. That's his name.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah. My friend says he doesn't like you. I was saying I liked your hair.
You sound more like
I don't like you either.
Right. Like Shaggy.
That's not a ruby rack.
I
work with what you give me.
What's up? Oh, I try to pitch him right down the middle. I try to pitch him right down the middle.
The Senate says meme in progress.
I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait for this if it happens. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, no, same.
And I will put it as I'll probably put it as my Twitter background. I'll do that.
I have to start hanging a green screen behind me and hang other stuff so people don't keep accusing us of hanging bed sheets and shower curtains as if I were
not accusing. Their accusations are correct, but
only because I told them that's what I was doing.
I don't want a green screen, man. I think they look funny.
No, I like it. I'd
rather see you in front of a real background than someone in front of a green screen.
I love my backgrounds, and I'll put up different ones when the mood strikes.
I might never get a new curtain. Yep.
Yeah. You cannot stop my backgrounds just as much as you can't stop me from showing you my ass when I change my backgrounds.
I was about to mention that there's no ass tonight.
Every time. Oh, was there not? I'm getting better, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's no crack. There's a little ass, but there's no crack.
Now I have to find out if that's what the people want or if they don't want. I don't know. I've only gained subscribers since I started showing my crack.
I think the people do want it, but I don't.
Well, it's not. This is a democracy. Anakin.
Let's check Twitter.
Democracy.
Are we doing this? Oh my god. I look so old. It's hilarious.
Where? Oh, check Twitter. Twitter. Oh. That's really good.
I know. It's actually like really well made.
I wasn't expecting it to be good.
Thanks so much. That is the best.
He's got your earpod.
I didn't expect my face to fade in with the old man face. And that's what makes it. Like, I expect it just to be my face, but it's like faded in with it. It's like
you look way old. I didn't even expect you to look.
It's so good. It's so good.
No,
it's
no.
Thank you once again, man. You are the master.
So I couldn't believe the other day when we were doing that. He's like, shades. And I was like, what?
Oh, I want to put that as my background. It's so good. It's
I
so
would,
good.
But no, I don't think I will.
I understood that reference.
Really?
Oh, 2 Captain America references in one. How about that shit?
I think that should be our favorite reference to use forever.
Oh, we'll always come back to
not appropriate. Captain America. Clickety clackety clickety clackety.
Like, what the fuck?
Yes, especially when it's not appropriate. And the people will say, and we will say,
It's like, oh, I saw Rambo Last Blood, and you know what? My favorite part about that movie was whenever you went clickety clack, clickety clack, 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 clack.
Clickety clackety clickety clackety.
That's basically it.
And then he took his lightsaber out and he went clickety clackety clickety clackety.
Seriously though, Senate, thank you. That's a beautiful photo. And I love it. And I want a poster of it on my wall. I think I'm gonna make that happen.
Because I know for a fact I'll never get to see Hoff be an old man, and just seeing that, I get to pretend that he will make it there someday.
Yeah, I'm gonna die way before I get old. That's for sure.
I mean, that's the plan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not gonna end up like this motherfucker. When 900 years old look this good, you will not. Yeah, 'cause I'll be dead, you old bitch.
Dude takes like 18 Viagra a night.
Yeah, it's like it's his lightsaber up.
that little green thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about his lightsaber. Yeah. Senate's asking if any other takers. Well, if Vase has an idea, that's up to him. But I am content with what you have made for me tonight. I love it. And yeah, thank you very much. It's it's really good. I also love how Captain America is wearing AirPods in the picture.
It was awesome. I was like, yes. I thought that was great. That's you, though, because that's you.
Oh, it's good stuff. And you know, like I said,
my face would fit on that boat.
Well, like I said, that could be your joke, because my joke is I'm like Steve Rogers before the serum, you know. so you're more like the Thor in Endgame, I guess.
I would agree.
Yeah,
eating guacamole off my chest.
Do you play Fortnite?
No, it's
I've never played Fortnite.
I guess I'll have to start playing Fortnite now. Actually, I think that was just Loki messing with him. Because we all know Loki got away and had the portal stone, so
I hope that noob, whatever his number was Loki.
That was just Loki, yeah.
I hope so. His name was like Noob something or other.
Listen to me now. If you do not stop messing with my friend, I will come to you, and I will bring down an unholy vengeance the likes of which you could never understand. Which is hilarious, because it's just like every time Dennis threatens someone, because you know he's not going to do it, like, and that he except in this case, you know that Thor could do it, but
so you remind me of that episode where they live in the suburbs and he was going to come down on the wrath on Wally. You ever been a real storm, Wally?
He takes off his shirt and he just gets naked. A storm of fists.
You ever been in a storm, Wally? I mean, a real storm.
A real storm. You ever been in a storm?
I was watching the ones earlier where they were on the boat, you know, the season finales.
The implication?
Yeah, the implication. He's like, I can do magic too. And he pulls out her ID. She's like, how did you get that? He's like, 1993. You make the cutoff.
No, that wasn't meant to be threatening. The thunder outside, that is what's making it threatening. This
throw me off.
Couldn't control my lust. The gang goes to hell.
Dude, my favorite line in that whole episode is whenever Max sees that two of those guys on the Christian cruise are gay, and he runs to the gang and he goes, "Hey guys, there are two men on this cruise who are gay." And Charlie goes, "Who's the other guy?" That's my favorite.
I think it's great, like how they progressed with that, and then actually made Matt gay. Like, have you seen?
Is he actually out now or not? I can never remember because he goes in and out.
Have you seen the episode where they have the whole arbitration?
Yeah, I just watched that one like a couple hours ago. Yeah,
that one he comes out as gay so that he can get the money for it, and he stays gay.
Yeah, but I think he went back in. No, I don't. I think he went back in after that.
He's gay in the newest one. I know that for sure. If you watch the newest one, the last episode, I want you to I really want to talk to you about. If you can,
I need to rewatch the last season, I guess.
You definitely do. You remember? Have you seen all of them?
Yeah,
I feel like you would, or anyone, if we're talking about max sexuality and we're talking about that point, if you've seen all the episodes that are out, the last one that he did where he was supposed to take over for the gay float, and he was going to be their like Patty's gay float guy, and then like he wasn't doing that. He's doing something for his dad. And there's a thing between him and Frank.
Oh shit, I don't remember any of that, man.
Frank's
I watched
face
the last
and
episode,
stuff
but
like that.
I don't remember any of that.
I don't know. That's like the last episode of the newest season that's ever been done. I think that's out
I
there.
remember they did the gay pride thing, but I just don't remember anything that happened because I only saw those episodes once. You know?
Really great, like real, like a dance. Like they put a lot of time and effort into in the jail. And it's like, and then at the end of it, Frank's like, "I understand now," and like that whole episode is kind of like.
I remember that. Yeah. It was like the really serious thing. Yeah, and the girl with the girl. Yeah, I remember it now. Yeah, it came back to me. Yeah, it was like all dark and stuff, and it was him.
Yeah, and the water came down.
It was super serious, and it ended seriously. Yeah, it was.
It did really seriously. You might not.
I remember that now. Yeah,
I thought that was really good.
I don't know, man. I thought it was really weird. But if you want to go to a different topic, the Senate's asking, what are your guys' favorite Batman games? What about that?
No.
Let me tell you this. I love the Batman game for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I grew up on that. It was the first Batman game I ever played. It was fun. It was unique. There was a fun jumping mechanic with it, and I want to go back to it. Whether or not that's my favorite, it's the first one I ever did, and I still like it.
I like the Arkham. Yeah, I like the Batman Arkham, the new ones. But also to what you were saying, I remember one of the first ones I really enjoyed was I think for the GameCube, and it was really difficult. But like, it was really Batman, and that's why I appreciated the new ones that come out for like because despite like the movie stuff that was coming out, you still had like them trying to stay more true to like the mythos of Batman with like the villains and the different stuff rather than like the ultimate realism that Nolan was trying to do at the time, and kind of that distinction between the two. So probably my favorite Batman game to play was one of the earlier Arkham Asylum games, just because I don't think I played the other ones or the later ones, and I might have probably liked them better based on what I heard, but I just hadn't gotten to them. I actually downloaded on my Xbox, so I might get a chance to play them in the future, but my time is right now ultimately consumed with school, work, and when I get the chance, lovely times hanging out with Hoff on the YouTube.
I will say this, Arkham Asylum, the first one, I remember playing that game, and I had a really good time with it up until the point I got stuck in a vent. I couldn't find my way out, and I gave up. But true story. But anyways, I really like the detective aspect they brought into that game that a lot of other Batman franchises have not done.
Yes.
At all. And like you were looking for clues and everything and scanning.
Yeah, well, that was what I was gonna say. The GameCube one that I thought of, they were trying to incorporate more of the, and this was the game. There wasn't so much they could do there, but they tried to incorporate more of like the action into it. With the Arkham Asylum stuff, they stayed true to like his like detective nature and stuff, while allowing you to beat people up and staying true to the stealth stuff. Like at no point did I feel like I was like you had to be overly focused on like one or the other. Like if you wanted to, you could be overly focused on stealth or overly focused on power, but it was like up to you. I liked that about those games. And again, the fact that they I feel like tried to at least to choose their mythos and the overall mythos at large of Batman, and that Mark Hamill did the Joker and all of them.
I mean, I miss even if they were bad, I still miss video games based on movies that were coming out in the summer. They don't do that anymore. It takes too much time and effort with all the graphics they have nowadays. They can't just punch in some pixels like they used to and make up whatever they wanted. Nowadays, if you want to make something that's got to look good, you got to put time into it. And there's not enough time before the movies come out either.
Well, that's also partially because there's more movies.
I know, but what I mean, like, even when the MCU started, there was a Hulk game and an Iron Man game and a Captain America game. Like, they don't do those at all anymore.
11, 12 years ago?
Yeah. They weren't the best games either. They never were. But
because at that time when that started, there weren't Marvel, this, that, and the other thing. There wasn't a continuing story. It was just those new ones. So yeah, they made about the new ones, like they were making.
But that's not the reason why no
Potter.
movies get video games anymore. Is my
No.
point.
No,
That's my thing. Like, I understand what you're saying as well, but what I'm saying is like no movies get video games anymore. It's because you have to put so much.
I was just trying to like kind of go through why. Yeah.
I think because of the detail you have to put into things.
Well, I think it's partially because of that, yeah, and also partially because like that's what people are trying to take advantage of is like, you know, the reasons that people were making video games based upon every movie that came out is because A, not as many movies are coming out, and B, like the technology limits how much again, how many movies come out based on what technology they have, and B, what games they could make based on what technology they had. And 10 years later, now it's much easier to make both of those things. But like you said, people aren't just going to get, it's like, and I won't say everyone, because like some people will buy every year a new Madden game comes out, right? Well, every year a new like whatever movie comes out, a new Marvel movie or whatever comes out. But the things are different. Like there are slightly different things. Like Madden can still operate slightly upon that because of their reasons. Movies can't, and video games based upon them can't exactly operate on that, but they more now operate on stuff like overarching storylines or MMORPGs or stuff like that. And but I agree with you. I liked to play games that were based just upon the movie.
The craziest games had the craziest movies had games back in the day. Like I had a Judge Dredd. I still have a Judge Dredd Game Boy game. I think it was the first game I ever got for Game Boy.
Well, yeah,
Judge Dredd.
I remember like every single movie that came out, and I feel like it was in between when Star Wars prequels were coming out, and maybe between when, like you said, like some of the like maybe midway between Marvel's current run, like in between that area, you had pretty much a game coming out for every movie.
Well, like they do some now, but it's like if they do it, it's for mobile devices because once again, you don't have to put that level of detail into it, and you can make money from microtransactions. You can
just skin another game and literally
because like they made a Pacific Rim game, but as far as I know, it was only for like mobile devices. But I'd love to have like an actual Pacific Rim game where you're like it's like
in a Mac
or whatever. Yeah, and it's like
and that would be a completely different game that like anyone can put out a like you said, a mobile game. That's easy. You can literally reskin things. People don't care. The people that are playing those games for the most part, like I'm not saying anyone that's playing any mobile game doesn't care about anything, but like a lot of the mobile games are based upon like trying to get microtransactions out of you. It's not.
Well, that's what the whole thing is. And even like until like Battlefront 2 came out, Star Wars Battlefront 2, there's microtransactions and loot crates and boxes and everything were going crazy.
And the Senate said, I just want to agree, Arkham City is the best for Batman games. You feel like the goddamn Batman. And
which one was it? Was that the second one? Could you drive a car in that one, the Batmobile? Because there was one you could drive a Batmobile in.
I think that was Arkham City, yeah.
And I thought it would look pretty cool, but I never got to play it. I only got to play the first one.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them, right? There was Asylum, City, Origins, and then wasn't there a 4th one?
I don't know if one of those was. I thought. Again, I didn't get to play all of them. I played some of them, and I just really.
Origins was made by a different company, I heard, so it wasn't like the rest, I believe.
I can say, did you ever play any of those Lord of the Rings games that were about like Shadow the
Arkham Knight? That's what it was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Arkham Knight.
Oh no, I downloaded Shadow of whatever. It was the second one because it's free on Games Pass, and it looked good, but I didn't really like the combat too much, so I didn't really.
I was gonna say I do like the combat in that, and it's similar to the like X-Men game the Batman games, in that like X does this generally, Y does this generally. If you put certain combos together, and then like if you know other things, it eventually starts to come together. But also, I like that one from the earlier ones, but I do like that kind of combat system. They have very similar combat systems.
I don't mean to like. The thing is, as soon as I saw the combat, I mean, for me personally, I wasn't feeling it, especially at the time.
Sure.
But like, I just knew I wouldn't want to play through this game using that kind of style. So I only played like 20 minutes of it, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to go any farther. And
there you go.
I don't know, a little sluggish.
Hey, well, and the reasons that I played through that game are not like there are other games that I wouldn't play through. But that's Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, I'm going to. And me, when I got through stuff, I was like, parts of the story are absolutely bomb diggity shit.
I heard the AI is really good on it.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is pretty. But like what you were just saying, I can understand that as a reason not to play through it. I've not played games that are generally considered what that game's amazing. You didn't play it. And I was like, I don't have.
I love the old
to play games.
I love the old games, Lord of the Rings games, Two Towers and Return of the King for PlayStation 2 and GameCube.
Oh, absolutely.
Those games were sick.
Absolutely. Hey,
sick.
Yeah.
I might put one of them in tonight, actually, because I have them both still.
I love playing as Gandalf, putting up that shield and then getting the...
By the way, there's been a little bit of chat here, and I noticed this earlier. I saw something earlier today about all this stuff about Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and I think it was Mad Max something or other came out with some video against Jeremy I saw, and some other people, I guess, trying to call Jeremy out. I don't know. There's just a little bit of chat. I know it's news around.
I'm sure they will.
I don't care.
Yeah, I generally support Jeremy just so far as, you know, he likes Star Wars. He's a fan of generally most of the same things I am. Much like me, he was fine pretty much with The Force Awakens, but The Last Jedi really, you know, set him on a different path, and I can relate with that entirely.
Look up to him. I think too many people look up to him as a leader and some kind of god, and he even admits it himself where he's just another guy.
Yeah,
I think we should treat him as such. It's because he's got a lot of subscribers. He knows how to do business. He's been doing YouTube for a while.
And the only thing I'll say, but if that many people see him as a god, other people will see him as the devil.
Well, absolutely. I can see where he can be controversial. He supports Trump and he gives, but that's what makes his channel so effective and successful is the fact that he gives extreme opinions on things where people gets them riled up and everything. You know what I mean?
Sometimes. I mean,
like, don't get me wrong. I probably wouldn't be part of this if it weren't for him getting me riled up about a lot of things. But
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying about some things. Like there are other things he talks about that me personally, I might get riled up against him if I wasn't just like, it's not always just about, it's about like, the thing that I appreciate about him is he, for the most part, just says what he says and he sticks by his beliefs. And then if he changes them, he explains why and never hides from it.
You know who my favorite YouTuber is?
Who's that?
SC Reviews.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't mind the guy, but he's Dude,
he makes fun of everything and he's hilarious. Dude, he is so funny.
So what we got today is...
Dude, he's the best.
Boy,
he's the best.
Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Can you believe it? Here's what they're saying.
No, he has good jokes.
Stick with me.
Don't make fun
of
him, dude. Don't make
here we go.
Man.
Why not? Why can't I make fun of him? I think I do the same thing that he does, but for the most part, when I try to do it, I try to make it more concise and more. He's hilarious,
man.
Not mad at him, but literally, sometimes I have to skip through his videos just because he spends half the time going, okay, well, okay.
That's my favorite part. All right.
Something that I'm like, I can read this article myself. Can we please skip through to the part where you actually talk about it? Okay.
He's my favorite, man. He's my favorite. He's the best. He's the best on YouTube.
Look, hey, the best. Oh my gosh. Okay. I like him too. As much as I just made fun of him, I do. I
like him because he doesn't take things seriously. Like me. That's why.
I get that. Yeah, but he does, obviously, because he literally does reports on serious things and then satirizes them But okay, yes, I also like him too. Okay, but I like him too. I know I just made fun of him, but that was me satirizing, I guess, what he does.
On your channel, not mine.
He's gonna do that to me. It's nobody cares.
That's true. I don't know. I think more people watch this than you think, man. I'm just gonna say.
Well, I think it's probably just me watching it over and over because every time I do a stream, I watch it 7 times, and then after the 7th time, I fall asleep for 7 years. And then I wake up 7 years in the past, and I say, "All right, time for a new stream."
All right.
And if more people watch this than I thought,
Ryan says that Joe Rogan watches this, and I'd say he probably does after what you just said.
Gosh, yeah, well, I was the one who turned him on to DMT isolation chambers and all kinds of different shrooms, but that's just between me and him.
Yeah.
And now us.
And the chickens, too.
Wait, you brought chickens to this? There was one agreement that we had, Hoff. No chickens. No fucking chickens.
And Joe Rogan has all the chickens, man. I thought maybe you...
Yeah, but he's not part of this.
I don't know.
You know that.
I guess so.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna call it a night soon because I gotta get up.
I was gonna say I'm legitimately tired, and not that I haven't had a good time. I do appreciate the Joe Rogan conspiracy theories, which we always do appreciate on this channel.
I want to thank the Senate once again for the meme. That's great. I'm gonna put it as my background.
And I want 2 more Joe Rogan conspiracy theories by the next Hoff and Vase showcase, which will be at some point next week on Hoff's channel, Hoffcast. The only cast, Reek and Hoff.
There's another Hoffcast, but
shut the down.
I got more subs, so
and we're working our best to unilaterally stomp them out of existence because there can only be one.
That's true, just like the Highlander, the Hofflander. There can be only one.
Which is why in a week he's going to change his name to that. Now we're going to snuff out all the Hofflanders that exist. And then
absolutely,
he's going to change his name again. And until there's no one left except for whatever he's going by at that point and Vase. And then he comes after me. But that's like the Sith agreement of Rule of 2. We're going to be ready to fight at that point. And then only the strongest will survive. And by that point, it'll just be Vase Tube.
At one point, I just need to buy a domain name to a website and then just be like, I own it now, bitch. What you going to do?
I own it now.
You want to buy it off me? Go ahead. 25 grand.
I'll hang out with you.
Anyways, I have one more tidbit for you. I forgot to tell you about my past week, man.
You got a titty bitty that you didn't leave?
Absolutely. And I'm going to leave it for you right now here on your doorstep, like a flaming bag of doo-doo.
I want to step on it.
But anyways,
foot.
How about this, dude? So at my job, you know, I train people in my job, and we got this new hire in, and guess what his name was? Star Wars. I'll just throw that out there. Guess the Star Wars name.
Oh, I was like, his name was Star Wars? I was like,
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so
they used to, my parents used to have this person back in the day that my dad used to date, and they called her Star Wars because she had buns like Princess Leia. That was in the 70s. Go ahead.
I thought that the person's name was just Star Wars. So like, wait, so it's a person's name, but it's Star Wars based name?
Yeah, in real life though.
Okay, is it an obscure name in Star Wars?
No.
Akbar?
No, he's not Muslim. He's white. Anakin.
Okay, that was my name.
Guess his age.
I was going in alphabetical order. You bastard.
Guess his age. Yeah, there you go.
Sand.
It's not an age. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
It's a number. Age means a number, you doofus.
20.
Very close. 19. You know how many years ago The Phantom Menace came out?
20.
Yes. That means he got conceived probably right after some kids went and saw The Phantom Menace and banged afterwards.
Jar Jar Binks is the shit. Boost.
His dad probably has that Jar Jar Binks tattoo, dude. Jar Jar Binks. Shit. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Nobody calls Han Solo Oh, bitch! Seth Rogen fighting Seth Rogen as a Star Wars fan versus a Star Trek fan. That's quality entertainment.
It
My
truly is.
I love that.
Great movie.
I
There's a lot of
now a lot of
a lot of Rush references in that movie. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think a lot of Star Wars fans that have seen it like that movie.
I love that movie. I've only seen it probably twice, but
you would assume that we'd hate it because the graphics were terrible and this, that, and that. Oh, but it stayed true to the heart of Star Wars and what Star Wars fans like. Anyway, so we're done with the stream. We're saying goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye. Goodbye from Hoff and Vase. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Punch yourself in the face. It'll be less painful than leaving us today. So, say bye.
Bye.
I hope